One thing that I just never really liked about rock and metal music production is dealing with IRs and how to use them in a session effectively. But the guys at Bogren Digital just solved that problem for us, and they did it for free. They built out one of the most comprehensive IR loaders I've ever seen. It works great. It does everything and more than I would ever want. And like I said, it's free. I don't even know. Let's take a look at what they just released. It is called IRDX Studio. So here is what it looks like. It's beautiful. It is a 5 IR loader. Let's just run through some of the features quickly. You have A and B slots so that you can shoot out different tones. They have you have your preset menu, undo, redo. They have this audition mode, which is super helpful when you're trying to find a guitar tone just to start. We'll talk about that more in a second. They have a store link. They have a bunch of different settings here. So you can set your impulse response folder. It'll pull in your impulse responses. And if it detects a duplicate impulse response, which I always have for some reason, it clears them out so it doesn't get cluttered. It's just, man, it's just so nice. They give you a bunch of impulse responses for free, just for getting the free plugin somehow. You can click the star button and favorite your go-to IRs so that they go to the top, because you can filter everything this way. And if you want more information about the particular impulse response, you can click the little info button. Something I really like is this right here, this preview. This is a heat map of the frequency response of the IR. The way the heat maps work is if there's a band, that's basically where the majority of the frequency response is for that IR. The brighter that band is, the more density there is in that area. So if you want something for downtuned guitars, look for this like bright white stuff in the bass region. If you want something bright and sizzly, you're going to look for stuff that's going to be higher frequencies here and brighter. So very quickly, you know that this is probably going to be sick if you want something really bass heavy. This is going to be kind of bright and sizzly, maybe a little thin because we don't have a lot of bands in the bass region here. They have a 5 IR mixer here. All you have to do is drag and drop, and you create this connection between the IRs so you can blend them. If you do 3, now you have this like triangle. You can move this around and blend all 3 of the IRs. If you can do 4, now you can find that sweet spot with 4, and then same thing with 5. So if you literally can move around and make like unlimited guitar tones this way, it's incredible. If you want to just deactivate something, you just turn the power button off. If you love your guitar tone, they actually have a feature to export the IR as a new IR. That way, if you have outboard gear or devices, you can literally just export it for that platform, hit export, and it's going to chop up those IRs and make it so you can load it onto like your pedal board, like your Head Rush or your Tone Master or your Kemper. Like it's free. How does this work? They also have a really musical EQ here. I find this super helpful when I'm mixing a song. I can get the tone exactly right without having to do any other plugins. There's a volume adjustment here, so you can adjust the output level of this impulse response this way. And then the free version actually doesn't have the IRDX technology. It's locked up. I have the full paid version because I just love everything about this. But this is the only feature that is locked on the free version. This IRDX technology is just a speaker emulation. It sounds really good and natural, but it basically simulates the compression and the saturation artifacts of a speaker that's driven really hard, and you can control that. So it makes your IR sound more 3D and lifelike. So I find that I'm using this a lot when I'm mixing music. All right, so let me just quickly show you some of the other cool features just so you get a sense for how the workflow is, because it's an awesome, awesome thing. All right, so I have guitars in this session. They are just run through an amp without any type of impulse response, so they're going to sound sizzly and gross. Okay, let's find an IR. First thing you're going to want to do is go to audition mode, turn this on. That allows us to just use our keyboard and scroll through the different settings, and it's going to just bypass any of the mixing that's happening. If you have multiple IRs, it's going to bypass the EQ. It just gives us a fingerprint of what that IR sounds like. So it's enable. Okay. That sounds pretty cool. Nice and grindy. If we want to listen in context, right, we just unsolo. That's the sound. It's that simple. Then we take it off of audition mode and we can do any other tweaks that we want. Or if we want to favorite this, now we have that available for a quick recall if we want to just pull up our favorite IRs. I have hundreds of IRs here. And you can see it quickly loads everything. It generated the heat map, so I know exactly where I'm walking into with this. You can organize it any way you want. So, of course, I am a big Bogren Digital fan, so I have a bunch of theirs set up, and I also have a bunch of my favorites. So if I'm here and it's like, oh, I have 8,000 IRs, I can just go look at my favorites here and then just jump through these. There we go. Now we have the EQ, so we can make adjustments here. So I'm just going to solo guitars. Take a little wooliness out. Let's give it sizzle. There you have it. And then if you have the IRDX, let's see what that sounds like too. So you can hear it just gives it a little bit more of this like lunging kind of feel, a little bit more excitement. Let's go intense. I mean, that feels like the speaker's about to explode to me. It just gives it this little bit of texture that lifts and elevates it out of the mix. So there you have it. Go and check out Bogren Digital's IRDX Studio. I have a link in the description. It's free. This is 100% all I will be using for IR loading from here on forward. Also, if you want more free stuff, I have a free rock and metal mixing cheat sheet that's also available in the description. Go and grab that before you go on to the next video. I'm Bobby Bale, the mixing and mastering engineer at Raytown Productions. I'll see you in the next video.